Okay guys, today I'm going to be talking to you about blood typing. So if you look at the screen, on the left hand side, I have the different types of blood that there are. So we have obviously type A, type B, type AB, and type O blood types. Now I'm going to talk about why we have these different blood types. So on your red blood cells in your blood, each person has different types of antigens on their red blood cells, and that is what's going to determine your blood type. So for example, type A blood, this first one here, has A antigens on the surface of their red blood cells. So I'm just going to draw some A antigens on the surface of this red blood cell here. And as you can see over here on the right hand side, I just have A antigens symbolized as a triangle, so that's why I'm drawing these triangles on that red blood cell. Now type B blood, this one here, is going to have B antigens on their surface of their red blood cells. And I have the B antigens just symbolized as little squares. Now they obviously aren't going to look like this in real life, I just kind of have them symbolized just to make it a little bit easier for you. So type B blood is going to have these square antigens, the B antigens, on their red blood cells. So that means type AB is going to have both antigens on their red blood cells, okay? So both these triangle and square antigens would be seen on the surface of type AB blood, okay? And then type O, this means that they don't have either of those antigens on their red blood cells. So the surface of their red blood cells are just going to be bare. There's not going to be any antigens present there, okay? So the antigens on the red blood cells, that's what's going to be determining the blood type. Now, when you look at blood typing, we also know that different blood types have different antibodies present. So type A blood, since they have A antigens present on their red blood cells, that means they do not have B antigens present, so they will have antibodies against the B antigen, because antigens are basically something that your body recognizes as being foreign, okay? So if you don't have B antigens on your red blood cells, then your body's going to recognize those as being foreign, okay? So it's going to produce antibodies, which are proteins that help kind of bind to antigens and let your body recognize them. Type A blood will have anti-B antibodies, okay, that will recognize the B antigen as being foreign. So type A blood, this one here, will have these anti-B antibodies in their blood plasma. And that's this one down here that I have drawn. So as you can see, this antibody has binding sites that are specific for this B antigen. So if this antibody comes into contact with that B antigen, it would bind to it and cause agglutination or clumping in the blood, which is why type A blood types cannot receive blood from people who are type B blood type, because they have the anti-B antibodies that would bind to those B antigens on those red blood cells and would cause agglutination or clumping in the blood, which could eventually cause a transfusion reaction and kill that individual. So furthermore, type B blood, since they have B antigens present on their red blood cells, but no antigens present, then they're going to have anti-A antibodies. Okay. So if type B blood, gets a transfusion from a type A blood individual, then they would have a transfusion reaction, because these anti-A antibodies would bind to and cause agglutination with those A antigens that are present on that type A blood. Now, type AB blood, since they have both A and B antigens present on their red blood cells, what type of antibodies do you think they're going to have? That's right, they're not going to have any antibodies. Okay, so no antibodies present there, which means that type AB blood is the universal recipient. They can receive blood from any other blood type. Okay, now type O blood, since they do not have any antigens present on their red blood cells, that means they're going to have both anti-A and anti-B antibodies present in their blood serum. So they can only receive blood from people that also have type O blood. They cannot receive from anyone who has type A, B, or AB blood type. Okay.